there is a lot to hear from the Dr. Emad Kandil. Thank you so much, brother, for coming here. It's an honor to have you.
Absolutely.
And this means a lot to us to have a successful and a great Arab doctor in this world.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
But it was not 29. I think it's 27, yeah.
27 years?
Yeah, something like that.
27. I should say, I have extra 22 years. You know, when you get excited too much, you just do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so how you
I'm not
introduce
that
yourself?
old. That's the point. I'm not that old. I'm still very young.
He is. He is. He's really. You exercise like a really young. I mean, that's great. We're gonna talk about it. So, but how do you introduce yourself? Like, who is Dr. Emad?
Professionally, I'm a professor of surgery at Tulane. I'm the Elias Hamnet Chair in Surgery and the Chief of General Endocrine and Oncological Surgery. My focus is on endocrine surgery. I'm a surgical oncologist, but my focus practice in endocrine surgery. I'm very interested in minimally invasive options to treat endocrine diseases. Interested in all innovations, and I just love my craft.
Right, that's greatness. That's greatness. And I also know you as somebody who changed the game in the cancer also. On the cancer level, right?
I enjoy looking at research. I'm a researcher. My team publish a lot. As a team, we publish 30 to 40 papers a year. We present this in national meetings, and we present and publish our work in the most prestigious medical journals. It's a teamwork. But there is significant innovation in my field. So it's just fascinating to be part of this. So one of these things, for example, is we used to take thyroids out because of cancer. Now we can actually treat this with minimally invasive options while the patient is awake with a needle ablation, just putting a needle into the tumor, burn it. Patient keep their thyroid and do not need to have these surgery. More importantly, they keep a good quality of life.
Yeah, which is really, that's the most important.
Despite that we can do very safe surgeries, but to maintain your good quality of life and really work on not just avoiding complications, but to have a good health span.
Mm-hmm.
You need, it's not just all about lifespan, it's about the health span.
That's right. That's right. So to those who don't understand the profession of doctor space, what you really, like, in a simple way, like what your search allow doctors today, or like to do their job easier? Because the way I understand it is really simple, but I would love you to tell the world like how you make it simple, it's easier. And you was like last time you doing some testimonial from people who was already, I mean, who held success, or maybe they have a successful surgery.
So, I mean, it's one thing that as a physician, you treat one patient, or you treat 100 or 1,000 patients. But when you really focus on research, you can present that data and eventually help humanity. So it's not just as a physician, you only can help certain amount and a certain number of patients. But as a researcher, when you really look at differences between different treatment modalities, or how is this modality better than that modality, and you report this, you now can help physicians to provide the better care to their patients, and you can help humanity. So I really enjoy the research as part of what I do.
What that means to you?
It means a lot. I mean, it's a great fulfillment. I'm always curious, and I just part of enjoying life is to feel valuable. You know, the moment that you stop feeling your value in life, this is when life starts to be like, you start to think miserable, and people start to think about ending their life.
Right.
I can keep talking about this forever, but if you talk about research, I want you to guess what's the number one reason for death in elderly men after uh, after an elderly age, maybe after age 70 or so. I can give you some options.
After 70?
Yeah.
Okay, of course. Give me some options.
Heart attack, cancer,
Stress.
stress, loneliness.
Okay, loneless could be.
Loneliness is the answer.
Right.
So almost the data showed that almost 70% of elderly men, they will die within the first year of the loss of their spouse because of loneliness. It's
Right.
not really the hypertension, it's not the heart disease, not like to feel lonely and to lose enjoyment in life is the worst thing. Interestingly enough, doesn't happen to the woman. I think maybe women will have too much stress by the men.
Right.
That's different. However, though, I can tell you that I know personally many great um, leaders in the field that when they stopped being productive, that was the end of their life. Like the moment people stop their job, they can literally die within 6 months because
Right.
they have nothing to offer.
Mm.
So
So
to
it's
feel
like
valuable, to provide something is really very important.
so one of your core value or like maybe your standards is to provide value or to be valuable.
Absolutely.
in
I
the
mean, as a
community.
physician, just taking care of patients is a huge thing. But as I said, also as a researcher,
Right.
you can provide more to
The life.
a bigger sector of people, to humanity, rather
Right.
than just you only can help a certain number of people as just one physician.
Right. So I see a lot, like when I see you, I see a lot, you know. I see a doctor for sure. I see a leader. I see a friend. Like you are in a way that you allow people to become your friends, even if they are not your friends, but you allow them to be in. And I like that as a leader because I think that's what people today need. They want to be close to this person who leading them or who teaching them or maybe who tell them somehow what's better in life. They don't feel like the separation between that. And I think that's something I really respect about you a lot. So, and I mean, all this achievement is not something that's easy, but people see the glory.
We are social creatures. It's like just being alone, you cannot be successful. No one can do things alone. You need to do this with people, with a team, etc. But really, always family is the most important thing, and really good relationship with the community, with the people around you. You can be very selective and protective of your time, and it takes time to learn how to do this.
Right.
You cannot. The open door policy has its pluses and minuses, but it's important to feel that you can help others. It's the karma. You do good things to others, good things will
Right.
happen to you.
That's true. And even like this is how we grow up. Like this is what we learn in our religion as well. Like whatever goes around comes around.
It doesn't matter who are you treating. You doesn't matter what's the religion. You're treating a human being, and as long as you doing that with a good intention, that's what really matters.
Right.
So, for example, in our religion, it doesn't matter who are you treating. There is no such thing that you're treating one certain religion, you'll take more rewards than the other religion. You're treating a human being. I remember
Right.
my dad was telling me this and teaching me this when I was thinking about different things. But yeah, when you do a medical mission, it doesn't matter. You're doing it to humans. You're doing
Right.
These are all like creatures of God. Yeah.
That's great. So people see the glory, right? They don't know the story. So what is the story of Dr. Emad? Who's Emad? Who's like where you start from, how you become a doctor, how you become how you get to this point?
So actually, I did not want to be a doctor. I loved math, I loved algebra, and I wanted to be an engineer.
Right.
And my youngest, Bilal, is actually, he looks like me, and he's going to be an engineer. But here's my story. Back home, I went to school.
Where are you from?
I'm Egyptian. So where I was educated, like usually go to medical schools or engineering schools right after high school.
Right.
So I was literally applying for engineering. And during that time, quick story here happened. My youngest, I'm the oldest of eight. So one of my younger brothers, he went into seizures and I thought he was like dead. I took him in my hands. I ran with him to another building where we knew that there's a doctor there. He opened the door. I mean, this is 30 years ago or something, or a lot more, yeah. So he opened the door. He got, all doctors have a bag and stuff. So he gave him some injection. And my brother came back, and I'm like, holy shit, this is unbelievable. I need to be a doctor. I forget about engineering and math. I need to be a doctor.
What happened?
So I learned about this 4 years after medical school that, these kind of seizures can happen to kids and stuff. And eventually it goes away and they come back, no problem. But it was too late. I said, oh, I'm already all the way in. I gotta be a doctor. But I definitely enjoyed it. So it was fun. After I finished medical school, I wanted to do something different, and I did my UCMLE, the medical license exam to come to US. And I came to US, and I have very also interesting story. I shared initially a small apartment with many other colleagues, they're all physicians.
Okay.
From Egypt too. And each one was like sleeping on a little mattress and just trying to save money in New York City, etc.
Right.
Done some research at NYU. And we needed to make money. So I had a family. And at that time, I had my oldest son. And I needed to make money. So we used to work we found a physician that wanted to hire like some kind of a scribe job. So I applied for the job myself and another colleague. And he told us, okay, I'm going to let you guys work, I can't remember, 3 or 4 days. 3 or 4 days, I'm going to give you some work. You work for the 3, 4 days, unlimited hours for free. I'm going to look at your work. I'm going to choose one of you guys, and that's it.
Right.
So we both did our best and all this. Obviously, we became friends doing that. We did not know each other before, but and at the end of the 4 days, we're like, well, listen, we both need the money. We both need this. So we went to him and we said, we have a deal for you. We both need this. And we think we're both good at this. So you either hire both of us, we'll take 50-50, or we are not taking this. We're just going to walk away. And he's like, are you serious? If I only own one, you're both going to walk away. It's like, yeah, 50-50, or we're walking away. We both need it, but we're also willing to walk away. So he's like, I never saw this before. Okay, well, I want both of you guys. And he just got, but we both were working in research, volunteering at NYU, and Tamron now is a big shot, a chair of anesthesia in a program in New York, and I was able to continue in surgery. Yeah.
That's a wonderful story.
And one story, actually, I was invited a couple of years ago for a graduation in a surgery program graduation in Houston Methodist Hospital. And I was mentioning my story, and I had McDonald's. I said, I applied for McDonald's and they did not take me. They said, we don't. And funny enough that one of the graduating chief residents, after I finished, is like, I also applied there. They did not take me. Anyway,
it's a great, but there is also a challenge on the way, There is something like, we know there is something challenge us in every...
Yeah, I love surgery, so I took surgery. It was very competitive at that time too, and still competitive, but as a foreign grad, it's not easy to get in. So I started something called a preliminary program, and they did not have categorical year for me. It's so funny. My friend reminded me about this story a couple of days ago. So there were also another colleague of mine, and somehow I thought that they liked me more, but then they decided to take him for the categorical spot and not me, and I felt devastated. But they want me to do research. So I did another year of research, and it really made my career, made me very interested in um, like academic surgery and basic science and all this. At that time, so many times things happen in life that you think, man, this is not good, but eventually you understand that was actually the best thing for you.
Right.
Like I just wanted to get in, but
Right.
this was really like a good time for me to learn something different, and made my entire career to learn more about basic science and all this.
So, what the biggest challenge that you faced in your journey, like from Egypt to New York to here to become who you are? If there is one thing that was really hard, and you faced what it could be.
I mean, life always have challenges. At any stage, there are different challenges, and you just need to know this. Life is never easy, and um, I learned after a while that the most important thing is not to focus on the destination, and to really to try to enjoy the journey, and more importantly, also to enjoy the company during the journey, because when certain time passes in your life, you cannot go back and do it. So always people talk about health and wealth, but also there is another important thing, which is the fulfillment, like and feeling that you can enjoy certain times, certain things you only can do at certain time in your life. You can, if you really can't get to do this at certain age, it's too late. So you just need to enjoy the journey. There will be always like challenges. Having said that, I said something to my youngest, and he said that he told me one thing, and it just stuck with me. And I told this to I always tell this to my friends and stuff, and they believe it. I tell him this. I said, listen, right now I work hard, but maybe also the janitor here works maybe harder than me, and other people maybe work harder than me, but I'm doing better. But I can tell you one thing, I really worked harder earlier. So when you are young and healthy, for sure, when you work harder, you can rest more and enjoy life more. If you're gonna play early and take it easy, it's gonna be very hard to enjoy it after.
Right. Wow. That's great. I heard a podcast last week, and he was saying, when he started the podcast, he's like, if you choose what easy now, you will have a hard life in the future. But if you choose what hard now, you will have an easy life.
It goes all the way through for life, but also for tasks.
Right.
But for life, for sure, I believe in this. I always tell them, listen, I had the opportunity to party with my friends and do things, but I didn't. But guess what? Right now, I can do whatever I want. I can travel wherever I want.
When they can't.
But they can't. They enjoyed their time earlier, but now they're struggling financially. Right. I'm not. So
this is one of the point that I really wanted to talk also about, like with you, because you have also you have done a lot of research, and you know a lot when we talk and when we. So what I am as a life coach, I always see things as a thought. My question to a lot of people always like, how do you think? Like, one time I met a guy in the FBI. I'm like, how do you think? And he's like, damn, this is like a really smart question. Like, what? I'm like, when you see people, like, how do you think? Like, what do you think about people, about things, how you operate? Because this is who we are, that's our results today. Because all these people say, oh, this guy, he have more, and they think he has more because his dad, his parents, because where he's from, because his religion sometimes. And what I see is what he learned, how like the system he is operating. Because we either succeeding in something or we're either failing in something. And that's depend on what we know about life, right? Like, do you agree with me that our thoughts or what we know about life is what we're experiencing in life today?
Yeah, but I think it's people are different and their view to things is different.
Right.
Like, I don't understand Warren Buffett. I just don't understand. I watched a documentary about him, and something just very crazy about this when he was going through the ordering his breakfast, whatever, and he was showing that he prepared the change to give the exact change to the McDonald's people and stuff like this. I thought, what? Why don't you give these guys like $100 tip or something? So everybody's different. I mean, what will make some person happy will make another. So happiness is a very complicated topic. Warren Buffett just recently pulled most of our significant amount of his money as to just cash, not into the market because he think the market is going to go down, and he wants. For how long he is? Why? What is he doing with all this money? And I don't understand it. Like everybody, some people I know, they have a lot of money and stuff, but they enjoy making more. For them, the enjoyment and the happiness is making more money.
Right.
So happiness is a very complicated topic.
True.
I disagree with that. And it's crazy enough that a lot of the extremely rich people that I know are a little bit stingy. And I don't feel that, I don't understand the whole thing, but they really enjoy just having more money.
Right.
And people studied this and wrote about this, that the very rich people are different from what the comfortable people do. Like,
right.
They might have things, but so I think what really matters is like, what do you want in life? And everybody's view to things is different.
It's different.
For me, I have different goals. I enjoy doing. I would love to have more time to do more medical missions and help people. I just enjoy that. I would love to have more resources to do things like this. But again, everyone is different.
One time, Tony Robbins says, progress equal happiness. You know, the more progress that we have in life, you know, like the people who go to the gym, the more they see a change or progress on their body, the happier they are. And the same way, like when you're saying as a rich people or successful people, they look to their outcome, you know, as a progress and somehow. But overall, we don't live what the truth of things today. What I'm saying, we live what we know about love. Like, let's say about love itself. We don't live love. We live what they teach us about love, what we know about love. Like even in our relationship, we don't do what is a relationship. We know we have a way of living the relationship. We have an attitude about it. We have information and we apply in it. And this is coming from the program that we have before. And in my perspective today, when you look to, as you said, happiness, love, when you say like connection, when you say community, when you say leaders, all this meanings has been changed. Like today, when you're saying when two people saying, I'm going to have fun, could be a bad thing today, because fun today means so bad from what's real fun looks like.
I think it depends. What's the definition? I mean,
yeah,
fun
again,
could be traveling. Fun could be doing exercise.
Wrong stuff.
Even if you talk about the example of the exercise, the moment you said this, when you said people see changes and they feel the difference. Well, I can sit here and talk for like at least an hour about this.
Mm-hmm.
But like what the power lifter wants is different from the bodybuilder, is different from the CrossFitter, is different from the marathon runner.
Right.
So and everybody has different metrics.
Right.
So, but everyone might not think that the other one can be enjoyable to them.
Right.
So it's you need to figure out what will make you happy. Mm-hmm. And there is no right or wrong answer. But at the end of the day, you want to do something that if you look back and you can be proud of and not ashamed of. And you need to be honest with yourself. Mm-hmm. And do not do things that just because someone is saying it. But exercise is a very good example. Like
Mhm.
you can tell which one is better. There are different approaches
Absolutely.
and different goals and different outcomes and different metrics.
Right. And different purpose. That's like a different purpose. That's why they going to the gym. As you, one time we have this conversation. Some people work out to be big. Some people work out to stay healthy. Some people work out to show off. Some people work out to stay like to lose weight. So, which is I already agree. And again, I think this is still like connected to the mindset that we really do have. Like even
But also, when you know science behind things, you might change your mind.
absolutely.
Yeah. So if I tell you now which sport you think has the lowest testosterone will lead you to a low testosterone in your body, which one you think? Which athlete will have a lower testosterone?
Athletes.
Do you think the power lifters, the CrossFitter, the marathon runners?
Oh, the lifters, I think.
No, the marathon runners and the people who do all this Ironman, because it's extremely long, stressful time that will increase your cortisol significantly, and the higher cortisol will affect your testosterone level.
Wow.
So maybe this is something that
people don't even
people
know.
will think about it if they know that.
Right.
There's science behind it. Also, for example, sauna is a huge thing. There is data that sauna can improve longevity and improve survival, not just health span, but lifespan too. There is crazy data on that, and improve cardiac function, all this. But also, there's very good data that this heat can affect your testosterone level. So you got to figure out the balance. What do you want? And testosterone is important. So it's just a lot of research and a lot of things to learn.
Wow, that's so. But by saying also like the stress level is coming is actually is the record right now is people dying because the stress more than the numbers of dying before because the cancer, let's say, right?
Well, stress can really definitely cause cardiac issues and can definitely increase your blood pressure and cause cardiovascular issues, stroke, etc. But if we're talking about health, it can affect a lot of things. So, for example, you can be doing the right thing to lose weight, but you are not because your stress level is very high and cortisol is very high. So it's not all about, obviously, a lot of this regarding calorie count and calorie restriction, but even if you're doing that, and maybe you're not sleeping well and you have a very high stress, it might not work. So definitely high cortisol level is an issue. I'm an endocrine surgeon, so we treat patients with high cortisol levels.
Right. So basically stress could kill us, right?
So you can stop eating, but if your cortisol level is high because you have a little tumor that's secreting this, you can be extremely huge, depressed, all that, and it's amazing. You take that little tumor out of this patient, they literally can lose 2/3 of their weight.
Wow.
Without any dieting or anything. It's just the cortisol, too much stress. So stress can definitely, slow killer.
And I think, like, do you think stress is also because the mindset, like that we have, because the way we do things and the way we eat, like, I think it's all connected.
This is part of it, but anything in life, any stressful events, but even watching sports, if it's not good, there is actually very good data that showed that good research, high-end research, if you're watching a game and it's a big upset, that can significantly increase the risk of heart attacks and stuff like this.
Right.
And the data is very clear. Big events with when in Germany.
Well, high energy, like high emotion. That's when also the memory actually creates.
So actually, I started not to watch things that I care about.
Right.
Like I would rather watch something competitive that I'm on the fence. I'm not like I'm gonna be really upset.
Yeah, I don't watch
because I actually
that.
feel it. If my team lose, if the Saints will lose, I don't want to watch the Saints keep losing or stuff. It's just not fun
at all. And that's my mindset. Like I don't even watch the news. I don't allow my situation to control me. I want to be in control of my situation. Like any input, like anybody tell me it's hard, I don't believe them. No, I say it's I know it's easy. I know I can do it. I believe today mindset, like even when I speak with athletes, I speak with actors, and I speak with like I see how they perform, and I think it's always goes back to what they really believe in, like about themselves, about the situation, about the team they're playing with, about their teamwork, and even like to be stressful. It doesn't mean that you can't change it, and that's also goes back to how we living our life, like who teaches us how to live, what we do when we wake up, why we do that, and how that affect our day, what type of, like right now, as you're saying, as the food level, the exercise, but we also have like a mind, like the mindset health,
I was
mental
listening
health. We
recently
have
to a guy who, as a neurosurgeon,
Mhm.
and he said that after learning about certain things in the body and all this, I don't want to get into these details, but I literally almost do the same thing, but not to that extent. But we, as a surgeon, we usually start doing surgery 7:30 in the morning, and he stopped doing surgery that early. He will postpone it even an hour later, 8:30 or something, because in the morning he wants to wake up, see some light, give the brain some time to like shut down your cortisol and really get ready for the day, and not just shoot your cortisol. When you wake up, your cortisol goes up.
Right.
And it's actually very interesting. If you do glucose monitoring, which I highly recommend, because everybody's different in their reaction to body, I think it's important at some point, even if you're healthy and you're not diabetic, etc., but to monitor, to do a continuous glucose monitoring for a certain time. You will learn a lot about your body and reacting to certain food, etc. But if you do that, you notice that your glucose will go very low at night because your cortisol is low. And if you think about it, when you go to sleep and you did not eat and you wake up and you think your cortisol now, your glucose should be actually going down. No, it's not. It's actually going up because now your cortisol is shooting up.
Right.
So all this is very important. I mean, stress also with the cortisol and all this will cause more of the insulin resistance. So whatever you try might not work regarding your health and exercise. And so it's
a lot of
stress is important.
I think there is a lot of lack of knowledge and a lot of ignorance about all these facts for a lot of people to have like a really better quality of life. And it's for me, it's a must for us to know about this fact or this information, because if we don't know what the problem is, we can't really fix it. So now we want to, how can you balance with all like what's going on in life? Like you wake up every day, I see you working out, you have like a great value. I mean, you adding every day as a doctor. You are one of the leaders in the community here as Arab community, and you also a dad, and you travel, as I see also a lot. So how can you balance with all this like life and parts of you?
Well, let's talk about one thing at a time. I think exercise is the one thing that nothing else is like it. So for example, if you talk about the risk factors that can affect survival, environmental, which is like, for example, smoking or alcohol or diabetes. Like if you're a smoker, your risk of death increase per year at least 40% compared to someone who's not a smoker. If you're diabetic, can increase maybe 30% compared to someone who's not diabetic. But if you actually exercise is something that you can actually measure with the VO2 max. I don't want to get into these details, but if you divide people according to the percentile, if you are in the group that very weak exercise tolerance versus the very competitive one, the survival can increase like 400%. It's crazy. And even if you compare the middle to the lower, it's at least over 200%.
just
there's
just by just working
exercise.
out.
So, but the problem with exercise that I think that's the biggest problem that most people face, that they feel that they need to exercise and they need to go to the gym, and it's just some kind of homework that they have to do. But I really feel, I heard this from someone, and I feel it's a huge key. The key is trying to figure out how to enjoy it. Like when you go, that you're really trying to go to increase your endorphins and you're itching to do it. I found that one of the best way to do this, like others, is to have different approaches, not one thing. So I do all kind of exercise and I switch, and it depends on how I feel and recovery, etc. But like I can do CrossFit, powerlifting. I will love yoga. I can do other things like rowing, etc. Walking is a huge thing. If you just walk in a nice environment, etc., or you do yoga, it can literally shut down your cortisol level. It's just unbelievable.
That's really great.
So
do you meditate, doctor?
Well, if you pray, that's considered meditation for sure.
Right.
Yeah, and I like to actually just enjoy my walks alone.
Yeah.
It's a good time to really shut down. A lot of people will talk about this, but there's a lot of research to support that too. It's a real thing.
So just by us working out, we can live longer. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
that's great.
But even not just the lifespan, but the health span, the life that you have. It's just a good life. Like you can enjoy a healthy life. You can take care of yourself. You're able to take care of things. You do not need the support of others.
Right.
But but in general, you just need to figure out how to do this and enjoy life and try to decrease the stress. And there are ways to do that. Life is not easy. It's difficult. It comes on you with some difficulties, and we all face that, but you just become stronger and keep going.
Yeah, I think people, like, when they give up is the only time when they fail. If they keep trying, or they, as you just saying,
you have to fail to succeed. Like you really have to. I'm not a businessman, but all my friends who are in business, they all tell me that they had to fail many times and lose a lot of money to learn lessons.
Right.
It's just the way it is. You try different things and you just keep going, but you don't stop.
So in a sense of happiness and stress, so I just have one question about it. So why people who has more stress and unhappy, they look like you can see the stress in their life, in their face, and they die, like they simply die like earlier or younger.
So again, it's really complicated topic, because you can have people who are extremely successful, but they feel very stressed out and unhappy because they did not get to a certain level. One of our colleagues, actually her story was in the New York Times. She's a surgeon from Harvard. She talks about her story that when she lost a championship, she got to the championship. She's second. You should be proud of this. No, because she lost it, she was depressed and eventually became alcoholic and all that.
Wow.
And that happened. I see this a lot, that when you just raise your expectations, which I highly recommend that you raise your expectations. If you don't get it there, you get somewhere.
Right.
But you need to learn to be thankful and happy, to have discomfort inside you, and have some fulfillment. Because otherwise, it's just not good. It's never going to help with anything. What we forget a lot is the bounties and the things that we have. And if you keep focusing on the 10% that you don't have, and you forget the 90% that you have, you're never going to be happy.
I understand. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
And I really think, like, the way you say it, because the way I teach or the way I learn also, and I believe I always help people with, is just by us always stay on the positive part of our decisions, our emotion, our thoughts. Because, and you prove that right now to me, because I believe when we have a positive decision, you know, when we choose to feel what we want, not allow what is going on to allow us to feel what's really they want or what is going on. And when we start moving forward or doing a positive action, I always believe in a positive income going to happen. And I think this is where the people can change their life. People today, they live in a circle because they always do the same thing. They do the same thing, they react the same way. And as you say, like, they don't have a new knowledge, or they don't make the research to become more aware or conscious about what's really going on and how they can do it better. So I truly believe, like, meditation, which is a pray, is something I do pray and meditate. I do too, both. And I love reading, because even like reading, that's the way that allow us to know and, dive into something that's we never heard about. And I think also knowing what you want, like knowing people today, I think they don't even know what they want. Like, as you said, when they go to the gym, they don't know they want to lose weight. They just want to go to the gym. They want to lose weight as a intentionally, but they don't know what it takes to lose weight. So they feel like they're not losing weight because they think the gym is not allowing them, but they don't know that they stress, as you say. They don't know they're not doing right things. So I really believe, like, even like with being grateful, like being grateful itself, if you have the gratitude emotion, or you can be able to operate on a grateful level of state, like emotional state and a mental state, everything in your life will be multiplied. And that's a magical things that you can do. And I mean, in every religion and every state you read about, that's how great. But this is also a choice. Like, this is something we need to choose every day, what we want to do in this day, who we want to become, and how are we going to operate. Like, people today, they don't choose. They want to be, I want to be the best today. I want to do my best today. So that's why they do the same what they have done yesterday. And that's what the cycle is. So money, I know there is doctors make money, right? And we know, like, there is also lessons that we learn on this way of money, because as you just also say, there is doctors that they broke, which is, I know a lot of them, and I know a lot of wealthy doctors too. In your perspective, what the difference?
Well, so this is funny, but I actually laugh with my sons about this. I tell them, whoever tell you money is an important thing in life, this is a lie. Money is the most important thing in life. No, but
Right.
I laugh about that. But the truth is, I remember a few years ago, I was biking. I loved biking, and I fell off the levee, and I broke 7 ribs. I punctured my lung. I broke my collarbone, and I was in the hospital for at least 3 days.
Wow, sorry
But
to hear that.
that's okay. I'm fully recovered. But I remember right after that, I had, a sling. I was like literally slipped on the chair for a month. And during that time, I was actually finishing up with my MBA. So we were watching a video in the class about some lawsuit against our company and how much money certain people made. And I was looking at that guy that settled with the company for significant amount of money. And everyone in the class was like, oh my God, was like crazy about the number. And I'm looking at the guy sitting in the hospital bed, can't move a thing. And I remember when I was there 3 days ago, and I'm like, why does money matter if he can get out of that bed? So the truth is, money is extremely important, but also we do not need to forget about health and how these bounties are important.
Right.
Like, if you have all the money in the world and you can't do anything with it, what's the point? But I'll tell you this for sure. Historically, somebody was talking about this, like a old book. But they say the most important thing in your life, number one, is your job. Because if you do not have money and you do not have an income, it's going to be very hard for people to take care of you.
Right.
But if you have some resources and stuff, you will have some leverage. There's actually some Arabic poetry about this, that rich people will listen to them and respect them, etc. Even if they say nonsense stuff. But if a poor man even saying something really right, people maybe might not care.
Right.
But that's a fact. That's what. So at least making sure that you sustain a good job that give you a good living is very important. At certain point, though, again, people are different. I have very rich friends that they just don't enjoy cars. They don't think buying expensive cars is a big thing. They don't feel it. That's not their thing. And some others are really into it. And
so what do you think the difference between like a successful doctor or like a rich doctor or a broke doctor? Like
I mean, who
somebody
said the successful doctor is a rich doctor?
No,
I
that
don't
doesn't
know.
mean
So I have friends that their fun is to have very fancy, expensive sports cars and do racing and stuff like this. And I have other friends that they love traveling and stuff like that. And I have other friends that they enjoy charity. And they are just different things.
right.
So it's I have other friends that the more money they make in real estate and business, the better they feel.
100%.
So, and I talked to them, I was like, you're gonna die and leave this money, but they're just enjoying
The feeling
the
of making it.
process. And my friend will tell me, it's like, Emad, you don't understand. Like, I enjoy the process. I enjoy that I'm doing something. I'm fighting this guy. I'm doing this guy. I'm making some action. I'm making accomplishment. What do you want me to do? Just, I can't live. I have to have a purpose. I have to wake up in the morning,
Right.
and have something to do.
Right. So what money means to you now? What do you think about money? What do you think?
I'm blessed, but
Some
you
people
always
think,
can need more money. It depends what you want. I mean, some people
like, no, for you, for Dr. Emad, like now for Emad, some people say it's a tool. Some people say it's a power. Some people say, as you respect. Some people say it's a must. So what do you think about money? What money means to you?
I mean, it's a tool, in my opinion. It's not a goal for me. I mean, it does help with things in life. I do not need to think about many things when I make a decision to purchase something or do something. But it's just a tool, but it's not a goal. And I enjoy other things in life. I mean, I could have done different things to make more money, but I enjoy being in academia. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy helping others. I enjoy the research.
Right.
So everybody's different, and
I agree.
And many physicians in the non-academic world in private practice, if they make more money, etc., they think that the academic guys are not smart enough.
Right. That's not correct.
Everybody's different. I
Yeah, I
mean,
understand.
plastic surgeons make the most, etc. But I
Right.
personally was offered this at some point in my training. I did not feel like this is something that
Align
I
with
will. I enjoy taking cancers out or helping cancer patients more
Right.
than
Making people feel beauty.
this is good. It's not bad. I'm not
No, I
saying,
understand for sure.
but everybody is different.
For sure.
That was not fulfilling for me.
So where do you see Emad in the next 5 years?
I'm not, for the next 5 years, I think I'm going to most probably continue the same thing, but I don't know about after this. I keep thinking about, I had the different goals or more goals in my life at some point a few years ago.
Right.
And I was going up the ladder for this, and certain events happened in my life and made me rethink things.
Right.
And I felt that I achieved enough, and I need to just enjoy what I have and enjoy the journey and focus on what I love more than reaching to certain goals.
Right.
And what I have been thinking about more recently is what I will be doing to enjoy, like when I get older. I'm not sure if I want to retire, because I really love my craft. I do love what I do. I know many people, I'm fortunate enough that I just love what I do. Many people just do their job because
Right. It's
they
a
have
job.
to survive. But I tell you, sometimes like I get stressed at work and I need to get some time off. And sometimes I'm like, I need to go back to work, and I enjoy going back to work, and I love what I do.
Right.
But I understand that at some point, other people will be doing this and they need to, and I'm trying to think about what should I do next to enjoy life. So I've been talking to colleagues and brothers about some ideas and some projects to make me busy if I'm kind of like retired stuff. You know, a friend of mine, for example, someone I know who is a physician, and he did not have kids, but he really started like an orphanage for disabled kids. And
yeah, that's what I was saying. There is so much.
Yeah, I talked to him, and he thinks these are his kids. And it's just a great project, like, and just keep growing and stuff like this. And so different ideas, and it's something that he enjoys doing right now. And
yeah, I respect that. I really do.
It was different. Medical missions is a big thing.
So do you are you going to make maybe a decision that you are going to work more on your goals that you hold back for the event that you happen?
No,
Do you think it's time, maybe 2025 is time for you to get back to it?
I don't think so. You know, it's so funny. Somebody was telling me, send me a message like, may God give you what you want in 2025. And I'm like, what do I want in 2025?
Right.
Well, I have some things in my mind, yeah, but it's not like, I mean, during the last 30 years or so, yeah, I always want something. But you get to the point that, okay, well, what's next after?
Right.
And I feel like I'm hoping that I'm trying to start to learn more about this. You know, at some point, it doesn't matter how you are healthy or exercising or trying to maintain your health. At some point, it's going to hit you.
Right.
You only can do this up to a certain point, but you reach to maybe mid-70s, etc., your muscle mass is just going to head down 50% or so, no matter what you do and stuff like this. So, and it's life. Life is going to end. But the thing is, how can you really do something that to please God and to enjoy it and to feel that you are you should never stop doing things. You know,
it's hard you can't reach targets you don't know. Like, this is something, when like the question of a 2025, that's to have it. I really think like it's important for us to have like a clear target, you know, because like as you're saying right now, it's a time when you have the money, you have the time, you have the knowledge. It's just for you to ask. And this is what to be honest with you, this is what I love about meditation. Meditation is the time when I'm in, which is also, I mean, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was meditating a lot, and he used to meditate. And I really think in meditating is where we can receive answers that's for our question on this, even if it's on personal level. Because as a researcher, when you do research, you have a question you need the answer for. and in a space of meditation, I always receive like like I know myself like 5 years ago. Before I didn't know like who really I am. I just know that I'm like, I know who is my parents, I know where I'm from, but I don't know who truly I am. And that was like crazy to know who you are when nobody told you. And
So
it's something
100% you need to have set goals. That's 100%. So you can get to it, and you have to have a plan. But I'm just saying, recently, maybe it's just a certain time in my life at this point, but definitely you need to have some goals.
the clarity. Maybe it's not even goals, like just to
Listen, life has to, you need to be useful in life. I mean, since you mentioned this, but also the Prophet said, إذا قامت الساعة وفي يد أحدكم غرس فليغرسها,
That's true.
which basically means, like, okay, now, end of life, day of judgment's over, everything's over. You have a plant in your hand, just plant it.
Right.
Why you want to plant it? It's just day of judgment's over.
Right.
But no, just keep working until
Keep
the end.
doing it.
So 100%. What I meant is just maybe at this point in my life, I need to. I've been thinking honestly about taking some sabbatical. I'm always like, I always push the envelope. I always do new things. I'm always trying to accomplish a lot and push the things. So when we started years ago, over 10 years ago, robotics, I wanted to be like busiest robotic surgeon. We were like I was like number one in robotic endocrine surgery. We get patients from all over the world for this. And now with the ablation is the same thing. So I'm always pushing the envelope. But at some point, I just need to figure out what can get me more excited.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
A friend of mine, I was checking on him around the New Year, and he's overseas in Thailand. But anyways, he sent me this reply, 4 pages on WhatsApp, about he was meditating to plan his goals for the next year. And it's 4 pages and very detailed, but he spent time to put this. And I'm like, wow, what do I have for this year? And I didn't. So, but maybe it's just a time. I honestly, again, was thinking about doing a sabbatical to see what should I do next. I feel like I achieved a lot in what I have, and what I was thinking about in the later on,
Right.
I'm not interested in at this point.
Right. I have done like the 31st of December. I go a lot to the park that we made at, and this is like a place where I love to meditate and to like just have the space and peace by myself. So I was writing down my goals at that time. So one of the things that I realized, we are, as a man, we forgot to love ourselves. Like we don't spend, like we do have a problem with self-love, and we get to a point, and that's honestly, like when you talk about like the man when he's by himself and the lady is different. I think self-love is something that is could heal any situation for us as a person, because we always have like outside event, as you say, an outside situation. But what's crazy about it, we look for outside solution most of the time. We look for outside help, outside support, outside something to happen or to be, for us to feel better or to become better. And I think the only time that we really feel fulfillment in life is the time when we love ourselves. We love ourselves. When we know like where we should put ourselves, where the best place for us to be, where the place where we gonna like shine, and where the place that hurt us. And at that time when we like, today I respect myself too much, for example, to do something that I used maybe to do in the past. But today, with the self-love for myself and the God that, you know, when he said, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ أَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا, so I really feel like in so many level that I got like the soul of Allah, you know, in me. So I start to love this person, because I'm like, what if I'm here to take care of me first, then I can maybe take care of people. And I think this is when a lot of perspective of my life, because I had problem with my relationship, like so much problem. Like we used to fight in a crazy way and I couldn't figure it out. Like I don't have the way to do it. I don't know how to have, I don't know how to have a peaceful relationship, because the relationship that I grew up in, which is my parents' one, was not super peaceful. So I know what they used to do. I know this is all what I know about relationship. So I applied what I know, and that's put me in like a terrible situation. So I broke up. Like I have the first divorce, and then I broke up with her for a whole year. I don't see her. I don't talk to her because I don't know what to do until I love myself. So I'm like, yo, so the issue was not in this person. The issue is not in the event. What happened is good. Like the war, it could happen to everybody, but there is people who when in the event get better, and people who goes down, and the only reason is how they react to the event, and that's self love. In the war, we got so broke, we got under like everything gone in 1 second, and I know people they make multiply their income or the worth in no time. I know people, right? So when I asked them, I called my uncle one time, and I called my dad. I asked a lot of people because it's really interesting to see people result over and over happening again, even if they change the country, the relationship, anything they change, they always have the same issue. So when I'm calling people and I'm asking, it's all mindset. The people who really still have what they have and they multiply, they have worth for themselves and they have they have worth for the thing they have, and they know that this is for them. Like, and this is something crazy, because when you see like the poor people, like when it comes to money, oh no, I don't care about it. They let you, if you like $5, oh, I don't care about $5. Rich people doesn't do that. No, it's $5 for you, for $5 for me. It's life.
They don't do that.
And that's when I understand you cannot, like, money as energy, and it's something has a consciousness, cannot respect somebody doesn't respect him. Like that's when I got it. So it goes also always to self-love, and I think this is when the man start to heal. Like I really work with a lot of, again, with people, and I see that most of the, let's say, the suffering in life is that they love so much people, but they don't love themselves. Like they want to do the best for their wife right now. And this my mentor one time said, wow, this is a crazy. He said, I used to tell people, I would take care of you for you. He's like, now I tell people, I would take care of me for you. Because if I am okay, I will make you okay. But if I'm miserable, you will have a miserable life with me. And yeah, I really think this is where I encourage every man too. I really encourage you to know who you are and to know like what you need for you to feel better. So, doctor, there is a lot of people right now, and I appreciate you listening to me. So there is a lot of people watching you. There is people who look up to you, like me. I always look up like to your greatness, your conversation.
Oh,
and I respect it. Like this is a fact. Like when we made, and I always like when I speak with Rami, which is something I love about the doctor too. He really doesn't do it for himself only. He helped people to come here to practice, to grow, and to become the best version of themselves. And I love that about him, because one of my friends, he's a doctor too, and he's a student under the doctor, and he brought him all the way from Syria for him to come here to experience life and to have a great opportunity. So personally, I wanna really feel like I wanna tell you how grateful we are for you to do that for us and to give people opportunity that you already had for yourself, right? So what you tell us today, like something that's
just remind me now when you said this. Just a couple of weeks ago, I have another one, Salim Nuruddin. He's actually the endocrine surgeon at the GW in Washington, D.C. And he was my student years ago.
yeah.
And I'm so proud that he is the guy now at the the GW program. It's just fascinating. And too many people, but it's just fascinating.
Thank
And it
you.
is good, yeah.
That's
There are
wonderful.
too many. It's just a lot. It's very rewarding, very fulfilling.
Right. So what you tell us right now, like for an inspirational words that you want to give them to look to the camera and tell us before you go. So whoever will listen that will start moving forward for himself.
Oh, that's a hard one. Well, what I can say that just respect yourself, be good to others, and work hard now so you can enjoy it later.
So the last question, there is a research that you know about doing what we love that helps or cause a better life quality.
Yeah, so I think it's very important. There is always one study that I like to refer to um, that looked at different specialities in medicine. Different doctors can make different incomes, etc. But what they found that at some point, there's actually multiple papers on certain related topics. At some point, uh, different reimbursement can change up and down. And I can sit here and talk about this for a while. But to talk about one specialty, for example, like cardiothoracic surgery, it was when I started my training, one of the most competitive specialties in surgery to get in, and you had to do some research, you had to take some time off for research to be competitive enough to get into the program that trained you for cardiothoracic. And then cardiac cath came, and significant drop in the number of surgeries happened, and no need for all these surgeons. And eventually, at some point, I remember during my chief residency, when people were applying for fellowships, there were like only 40 applicants for like 120 spots. So eventually the board has to literally cancel or cut down half the fellowships. I know that people were trained in the top-notch programs in the country, had to do general surgery. Some of them left the country. Some took salary of like a PA to order to do cardiothoracic surgery. But then things change again, different.
Right.
But the conclusion of the paper was, do not choose a specialty because of the income. Choose what you love, because that's what really matters. So I always tell people, you need to choose what you love. Don't look at the income and see what you want to do, because this is up and down. Do something that you just wake up in the morning and be happy to do.
Right. And that's a really huge thing, because people don't realize that you can manage the numbers that you're making, not what you're doing can manage it, because I was listening to a guy become millionaire last time. He cut grass. That's all he do. But he hired people to cut like for more people grass, and he become like having a really successful company to make $1 million just by cutting grass. And I think this is like really smart for people to understand, like whatever you do, if you do it enough and you do it like a love, I think there is a way to make wealth behind it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, doctor. Thank you again. And we will like write us down if you guys like what we're talking about, because I really would love to have the doctor again on the show. And doctor, how they can find you? Like how, like, are you on Facebook or Instagram?
If you just Google my name, you'll find me.
Okay, that's
Emad
perfect.
Kandil, yeah.
So Google the doctor name. I will put his name on the description. Emad, how you spell your name?
Yeah, last name Kandil, Kandil.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's great. Doctor, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate your time, your presence. And I want to tell you that believe in you, believe in yourself, who create you and who put the dream in you. He gave you the power to make it happen. So just make it happen, figure it out, learn more, become more, and do more, because I promise you, you will figure out and you will get there. I believe in you, and I know you can. If you need any help, we're here to help you. And remember, when you do better in business, you will do better in life. And when you do better in life, you will always do better in business. And remember, that's God first. and I will see you at the top. Let's go.